Step into a 1950s or 60s kitchen where the air hums with the sizzle of butter in a skillet, the faint twang of a radio playing Buddy Holly, and the clatter of tin lunchboxes tossed onto the counter. Kids burst through the screen door, cheeks flushed from a game of tag, noses catching the warm scent of mom's cooking. This was a time when meals weren't just food, they were rituals, stitching together family dinners, school lunches, and summer afternoons. From gooey sandwiches to fizzy treats, these flavors defined a generation. Today, we're pulling up a chair to savor 15 foods every 50s and 60s kid will never forget. Each bite a ticket back to childhood. Let's set the table and dive in. First, grilled cheese and tomato soup, the after-school embrace every kid craved. Mom would toast white bread to a golden crisp, the butter hissing as cheese melted into a stretchy, gooey center. Beside it, a steaming bowl of Campbell's tomato soup, its tangy warmth perfect for dipping. You'd sit at the Formica table, socks sliding on the linoleum, savoring each bite as the radio hummed. Cheap, simple, and tasting like home, it was the 50s and 60s in a single meal. Swanson TV dinners were a marvel of the modern age. Pop an aluminum tray into the oven, and 20 minutes later you had turkey slices, peas, mashed potatoes with a pat of butter, and a tiny brownie, all neatly tucked into compartments. You'd balance it on a wobbly metal TV tray, eyes glued to I Love Lucy or The Andy Griffith Show. The foil crinkled under your fork, and even if the gravy was a bit gluey, it felt like a space-age feast in your 1950s living room. Jell-O molds were the wiggly stars of every party. Lime green or cherry red, they jiggled on platters, sometimes hiding chunks of pineapple, carrots, or even cottage cheese. At birthdays or church potlucks, kids would giggle as they poked the trembling mound, half expecting it to bounce away. Mom's proud smile as she unmolded it made it special, even if you secretly swapped your slice for cake. That shimmering shape is etched in every 50s and 60s memory. Ovaltine and Nestle Quik turned milk into an adventure. Spoon chocolate or malty powder into a glass, stirring until it swirled into a frothy treat. Ovaltine, with its radio show tie-ins like Captain Midnight, made you feel like a hero gulping down your energy drink. Nestle Quik was pure chocolate bliss, perfect before racing out to build a fort. Either way, the clink of the spoon against the glass was the sound of a carefree afternoon. Tang was the drink of astronauts and kids alike. This orange powder, born in 1959, hit the breakfast table with a space-age glow, thanks to NASA's endorsement. Mix it with water, and you were sipping what John Glenn drank in orbit, or so you believed. Its sugary tang zinged on your tongue, making every morning feel like a mission. In the 60s, Tang wasn't just juice, it was a badge of cool. Malts and milkshakes poured from frosty metal cups were the heart of every diner visit. At the soda fountain, the Soda Jerks blender whirred, mixing vanilla or chocolate into creamy perfection. You'd get the cup plus the extra in the mixing tin, a sweet bonus for sharing with a friend or a first date crush. Sipping through striped straws, you'd laugh as the jukebox played Elvis, the cold metal chilling your hands. It was 50s and 60s magic in every gulp. Cream of wheat and instant oatmeal were breakfast's warm embrace. On frosty mornings, Mom would stir a pot of creamy chow, swirling in brown sugar or a dollop of butter. The steam rose as you hunched over the bowl, the heat chasing away the chill before the school bus arrived. Quaker's instant oatmeal packets made it even quicker, but just as comforting. Simple, hearty, and tasting like a hug, they fueled snowball fights and spelling tests. Root beer floats were summer's fizzy dream. A tall glass of A&W root beer, bubbling and sharp, met a scoop of vanilla ice cream, creating a foamy swirl that tickled your nose. Car hops on roller skates delivered them to your car window, the tray wobbling as you dove in. You'd slurp it on a hot afternoon, radio blaring, friends laughing in the back seat. It wasn't just a drink, it was a 50s and 60s moment frozen in time. Meatloaf with ketchup glaze was every family's go-to. Mom mixed ground beef with breadcrumbs, eggs, and her secret spices, topping it with a shiny red ketchup crust that caramelized in the oven. The smell filled the house, pulling everyone to the table. You might have groaned at another meatloaf night, but now, One whiff would take you back to those crowded, chatty dinners where seconds were always on offer. Tuna noodle casserole was a budget-friendly classic. Campbell's cream of mushroom soup, canned tuna, and egg noodles baked into creamy comfort, topped with crushed potato chips for crunch. The kitchen glowed with its familiar aroma, promising a meal that fed the whole family. You'd scoop it onto your plate, dodging the peas if you could. In the 50s and 60s, it was love baked in a dish, chips and all. Campbell's canned soup was the pantry's unsung hero. Chicken noodle for sick days, with its salty warmth soothing a sore throat. Vegetable beef for quick lunches, hearty and filling. Tomato for dunking sandwiches, bright and familiar. Every red and white can was a promise of comfort, ready in minutes. Mom's cupboard was never without them, and neither are your memories of those cozy 50s and 60s days. Sloppy Joes were the messy kings of dinner. Ground beef simmered in sweet, tangy tomato sauce, slopped onto a soft bun, dripping everywhere. School cafeterias served them, but Mom's homemade version, with just the right kick, stole the show. You'd grin through the sauce on your chin, napkins useless. In the 50s and 60s, eating a Sloppy Joe was a badge of honor, mess and all. Kraft mac and cheese was a weeknight miracle in a blue and yellow box. Boil the noodles, stir in that neon orange powder, and you had cheesy bliss in minutes. Kids cheered for its gooey comfort. Moms loved its speed. Whether at the kitchen table or a sleepover, it was the taste of carefree evenings, spoon scraping the bowl for every last bite. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches ruled the lunchbox. Smear Skippy and Welch's grape jelly on Wonder Bread, and you had a portable masterpiece. Grape or strawberry, crust or no crust, every kid had a preference. You'd trade bites with friends at school, sticky fingers leaving marks on your notebook. PB&J wasn't just lunch, it was the glue of 50s and 60s childhood. Popsicles and push-up ice creams were summer's sweetest call. The ice cream truck's jingle sent you sprinting, a dime clutched tight for a red, white, blue bomb pop or a creamy orange push-up. You'd sit on the curb, the sun warming your shoulders as the treat melted down your wrist. That fleeting, sticky joy was the essence of a 50s and 60s summer, gone with the last lick. These foods weren't just bites. They were the pulse of a 50s and 60s childhood, tying together family dinners, schoolyard trades, and lazy afternoons. The sizzle of a skillet, the fizz of a float, the crinkle of a foil tray. They carried the warmth of home, the thrill of a treat, the love of a shared meal. Some linger in new forms, but they'll never taste like those days. What flavor pulls you back? The tang of tang? The crunch of a casserole's chips? Share your story in the comments. Let's cook up a memory feast together. And if this video stirred your heart, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who still craves Mom's meatloaf or a frosty root beer float. Some tastes are too precious to forget.